How to get a summer glow in winter. Winter skin is synonymous with dryness, with dehydration, with cracked and fissured skin, and it can be so frustrating. But there are a couple things that we can do to boost up our skin's glow and to get that summer radiance even this time of year. There is a difference between looking glowy and looking oily, and especially during the winter months, we don't normally get as much sun exposure. And of course, that sun exposure is what causes our skin to create a little bit more melanin, a little bit more of that glow. So we have some options to boost that up without the help of the sun, as well as a couple things to make us look dewy but not overly oily. When it comes to getting that glow, your cleanser doesn't matter all that much. You can really use whatever cleanser you prefer as long as the skin is clean. You want to make sure that you're staying hydrated, so don't overly strip. But something like the foaming oil cleanser from Skin Fix or even that bubble cleanser from Isntree is going to be perfect. You do you and use what you want. The same thing goes for an essence or a toner. You really don't need one, but you should try to use one that at least keeps the skin hydrated, especially if you're prone to dryness. Now, where this does change is with an exfoliant. Yes, you can and should still be exfoliating during the winter. Should you exfoliate every single day? No, you don't want to overly strip the skin or leave it prone to dryness, but a good gentle exfoliant is a great thing to go for. AHAs are water soluble and BHAs are oil soluble, but sometimes BHAs can be too much. So ideally, you want to go with something that is gentle yet effective. This is the glycolic acid toner from the Inkey list. This is an AHA and I find it to be really gentle, especially when you compare it to the ordinary. This is like a more gentle version. This is wonderful if you wanted to use this, and remember, exfoliating those top layers of dead skin cells off will give you a little bit more of a glow as long as you stay hydrated. AHAs are best for those who do have dry skin, especially because alpha hydroxy acids can be a bit more hydrating, but for those who are acne prone or oily, this is one that I love. This is the Chestnut BHA from Isntree. It has one of the most gentle forms of BHA I've ever used, and it is in a liquid form, but it's also got chestnut and it's very soothing to the skin. So if you have acne or oily prone skin, this is wonderful. And this also works as a gentle option to exfoliate the skin. So that way you kind of get that healthy glow from underneath. Before we talk about toners, let's also talk about masks. Face masks are not essential, but if you're looking for a really good glow, there are kind of some that can leave a sun-kissed hue to the skin. This is one from Ranavat. This is really expensive. This is luxury, but it's actually one of the luxury skincare products that I do like. You don't need to use this, and I'll give you a less expensive option, but this right here is the Resurfacing Saffron Mask from Ranavat. This is amazing. Again, it is completely luxury, but it almost leaves behind this healthy glow, this flush to the skin. It doesn't make you look orange, but it does make you look luminous. If you're looking for something to treat yourself or you don't mind spending luxury money on a female-founded brand that actually does what it says it does, this is an amazing option. The founder is actually from San Francisco. She was an engineer, and she's Gujarati, so her family is from India, but she felt this disconnect between who she was at home, being Gujarati and vegetarian, versus having to hide her culture and assimilate towards society, like when she went to school. So she created this brand to marry her culture and heritage along with her work in engineering and pharmacology here. I mean, it really is such a beautiful brand, but a face mask is a wonderful option. Again, I wouldn't use a clay one or a drying one, but something that is hydrating or that leaves a little bit of a glow behind is great. Now, if you don't have $100 to spend on a mask, I don't blame you. Totally understand. A really good alternative is something like a turmeric mask. Glow Recipe has one, Inkey List has a turmeric product, or you could technically make your own. Haldi powder is used in India, but be careful because it can stain the skin. Now, if you're doing a haldi powder DIY, you might have a little bit of an issue because, again, you don't want to look yellow or orange. It's a very fine line and fine balance, but if you find a turmeric moisturizer or a turmeric mask that leaves behind a little bit of that glow without making you look overly orange, that is a really great option that's going to be less expensive than something like this saffron one. So once you have masked, once you have toned, it's time to go on to serums. What I would actually recommend are oil serums, and there are a couple different ones. You know that skincare oils normally get applied last. You want them over your moisturizer to lock things in. But if you're looking for luminosity, applying them under a moisturizer is completely okay. This one from Trader Joe's is jojoba oil. I love this, and it mimics what our skin creates naturally. This is like $7. You get a ton of it, and this is phenomenal. It leaves the skin dewy and glowy, especially as this oil kind of peeks through a moisturizer, but without making you look like a grease ball. Now, if you do struggle with acne or with fine lines and wrinkles, this one is also amazing. This is the Ordinary's Retinol and Squalene. This is great because it is an oil formula, but because it also has that retinoid in there, it really helps with those fine lines, with wrinkles, and with acne and blemishes. So you're doing kind of 2-in-1 because you're treating as well as providing your skin that oily layer. Now, this is obviously much smaller than this one from Trader Joe's, so you're gonna get more for your money here, but I feel like for the price of this, it's still under $10 $20. This is an absolute favorite. I cannot recommend this enough. And I feel like for anyone who's scared to try a retinoid or hasn't jumped into it yet, this is a perfect place to start, and it works so well on skin. Now, if you are looking for something that's just fun, you're someone who really loves the experience of skincare, and you're just like, I want something that makes me look and feel good, this one from Tarte is actually really, really exciting. This is the maracuja oil, and it actually has these little gold flecks in them. This is a beautiful oil, and while the gold flecks don't do anything miraculous for skin, they do kind of dissolve inside of this oil and leave you with this really nice dewy glow. Now, this comes with a caveat. If you have sensitive skin or, God forbid, a gold allergy, which is rare but possible, you want to steer clear of this. Don't put this anywhere near your face. But if you're someone who says, I want skincare that's fun, I want something that looks beautiful on my shelf, that looks gorgeous on my skin, and literally gives me almost like a makeup light iridescence, this is for you. It is that oil, so it gives you that layer, but then it also has these little gold flecks, and as they dissolve into skin, they literally give you almost this highlighter-like shimmer that just kind of shines from underneath. It's very, very subtle. You can barely see it, but they look absolutely gorgeous, and it just has this warm little gold tint that kind of reflects when it hits the light. I absolutely love this one. It's super fun to use. Tarte Cosmetics is a makeup brand, so it makes sense to me that they created this, but if you're looking for something that's a little bit more on the fun side, this is it. Afterwards is when we get into moisturizer, and it doesn't really matter which moisturizer you use as long as it's not overly mattifying, but what does matter is adding a little bit of self-tanning drops. These are the G drops, and these are actually gradual self-tanners. These are safer than the sun, obviously, and the way self-tanners work, it's kind of like, think of it like a sugar that almost changes color on the skin, and it temporarily kind of changes the color of those keratinocytes. But if you use a self-tanner, you know that that can be cumbersome, and it happens really quickly, and sometimes you can over self-tan. These Glow Organic G drops help you build that self-tan over time. So you literally just take a drop or two and you add it to your moisturizer. And then when you apply it to the face, it almost looks like you're sun-kissed, right? It gives you this tan glow, but it's not a stark difference. So you build it over time. Literally just one drop in your moisturizer does the trick, and you apply it every morning or every evening, and it builds that glow so naturally. And this is one that doesn't get orange on me, which I love. Now again, you can use any moisturizer you want, but I love the Inkey List Peptide Moisturizer. I love this one because it is inexpensive, but you see how it also has this little lip to it? This little area is actually perfect for taking something like these drops or any other skincare oil and just dripping them on. And that makes it really, really easy to dispense product and actually mix it before it goes onto your face. This is the perfect way to make sure that that moisturizer and that self-tanner is blended. And that way when you apply it, you can actually get just the right amount and an even application. One of the hardest things about self-tanners is that they do come out uneven, or they develop in a way that just looks so unnatural. And by doing this, it's literally the perfect amount, the perfect balance, and you just get that even appearance. And it really helps to build this healthy glow over time. I absolutely love these. I didn't think I would because I often struggle with self-tanners. Some areas on my body are more hydrated, whereas some are more dry. Especially right now, I'm oily right here, but kind of dry here. And then I have dry elbows and knees. And if you ever tried to self-tan, you know how that feels, right? And you also know that you shouldn't be purposefully sitting in the sun because there is no safe amount of sun exposure. Don't avoid the sun, just make sure that you protect yourself. But if you want that healthy glow without that skin damage, that is where these come in. I love these. In my opinion, these have been the easiest to use. And as you can see, they just go on like a dream when you do mix them with the right moisturizer. And when you have these skincare products on, if it's nighttime, you'll be totally fine. But during the day, we do need to protect. And what I would recommend is either a sheer sunscreen so that all of this beautiful glow shines through, or a tinted sunscreen such as this one from Bliss. This Bliss sunscreen is perfect for someone who doesn't have sensitive skin. It's an SPF 30 and it does have a little bit of, I think, rosemary or lavender in it. But as you can see, it comes out with a tint, but it's kind of a light coverage. It's not like a full coverage thing. So when you actually blend this in, it kind of comes out with this glow, similar to that self-tanner, but it isn't overbearing and it doesn't look like foundation. It's more like a tinted BB cream. As you can see, this kind of gives that skin some luminosity as well as protection. Now, what if your skin is more sensitive or you just can't with the rosemary lavender scent of this? That is when something like a clear sunscreen comes in. This one is actually meant for acne, so if you do have blemish prone skin, this one is perfect. This is the SPF 30 Daily Lotion from Face Reality, and this one comes out completely sheer. When you rub this in, it's like it's not even there. It feels like it's not there, but it also doesn't look like it. And what that means is that for all of this glowiness that we've just applied to the skin or those self-tanning brightening drops that give us that luminosity. This sunscreen is going to protect our skin, but it's going to allow that glow to come through perfectly. So we look luminous and glowy, just like we've been sun-kissed during the summer on a beach when it's actually winter, and maybe we've been indoors all day. This one also has fantastic ingredients for those who are acne prone. It's actually quite soothing to the skin. So if you're a little bit more prone to irritation, this one is great. This one from Face Reality is an organic/chemical sunscreen, whereas the Bliss one is a physical/mineral one. So also depending on what your skin needs and what sunscreens you prefer, just know that those are two options that I would highly recommend. As you can see, neither of these make my face look mattified, neither of these make me look dry or dehydrated, but they make me look glowy without looking overly oily or overly greasy. And when we're looking for that summer glow, that's what we want. We want a sun-kissed color without skin damage, we want hydration, and we want that skin to glow without the grease. And with these, that's what we achieve. And I feel like this is one of the most important things that people forget, but hydration. Do you ever feel like you drink less water during the winter? I feel like in the winter it's freezing, it's cold, and then water, if it's cold, it just makes me colder. Or even if it's lukewarm water, like I just feel colder when I have to pee all the time. I don't know why it happens, but someone tell me if you feel the same. But I often forget to drink water or don't drink enough water during the winter because I'm not outdoors, I'm not exercising, and again, I'm just cold and the water makes me cold. But staying hydrated during the winter is so important, and yes, that includes for your skin. Our body needs water and hydration. It is so important, and so carrying one of these around with me actually helps me stay hydrated. This is a 64-ounce bottle. It's one of the refillable ones, and if I just have 2 of these that I carry around with me for the day, I'll actually drink my water. And I just don't have time to go refill, you know, a regular water bottle like 8 to 16 times. So this is perfect for my body, for my skin, and yes, for my one kidney. Please remember to stay hydrated. It is so important to make sure that your skin stays hydrated as well. And it really does give your skin a healthy glow and helps your body function properly from the inside out. So do remember to stay hydrated both orally and topically. Always remember to reapply your SPF and be beautiful both inside and out. I love you, beautiful butterflies, and I can't wait to see you and your glowing skin in this next video. Love you guys. Bye.